Good morning and welcome to a tour of my homemade tent.
I guess the key question is, why am I making my own tent? I'm going to go into a lot more detail on that one in my next video on how I actually made the tent, but the basic reason is my old tent was nearly dead and I couldn't find a new tent that had all of the features I wanted. Here is a summary of my tent specifications. It weighs 546 grams or 19.26 ounces. It's made of DCF, the walls in the 0.8 ounce per square yard thickness and the floor in the 1.43 ounce per yard squared. I would have preferred to have the floor in just the 1 ounce weight, but this material was out of stock for a long time, I think nearly 5 months in all. And when it was available, it was in the wrong colours, and I didn't want a dark floor as it makes the tent seem a bit smaller. In the end, I decided to go with the heavier weight for the floor because I couldn't wait any longer. I needed my tent ready for my next through hike. Using this heavier material, I added an extra 38 grams or 1.34 ounces to my finished weight. The DCF fabric I'm referring to is Dyneema composite fabric, and it's formerly known as Cuban fibre. It's a high-performance non-woven composite material used in high-strength, low-weight applications. Originally it was used for sailcloth. It's constructed from a thin sheet of ultra-high molecular weight polythene, it's a Dyneema component, laminated between two sheets of polyester. The advantage of this material is its high strength to weight ratio, as Dyneema is 15 times stronger than steel. It is fully waterproof, it doesn't absorb water, and it does not stretch, which is why it's great for tents. The insect mesh is a 0.67 ounce per square yard no-seam mesh. It's the same mesh that's on my current tent and it's lasted very well. When designing my tent, I wanted to get the balance of having enough room to be able to operate comfortably in my tent and not have a large footprint so I could squeeze the tent into tight spaces. I used my mattress as the start point. I'm using a Thermarest Neo Air X-Lite Women's, and I then worked out how much room I wanted on the sides and at my head and feet. I've ended up with the footprint being very similar in size to my current tent, which is a Zpacks Solarplex from 2014. That tent is out of production now. One thing I did want was a slightly bigger vestibule, and I wanted a mirror setup, so I had doors on both sides for better ventilation, but also so I can see what's happening out both sides. The height was based on me being able to sit up comfortably without touching the top of the tent at any stage and making sure there was plenty of room at my feet and head.
I store it in this homemade dry bag. It's got the normal dry bag closure, and one thing I've done is I've made the bag quite big and got a compression strap. So that means that putting the tent into the dry bag is really easy, and then I just need to cinch it up and that gets it nice and small when it goes into my pack. So I'm going to show you how I put it up, take it down, and then a tour of the key features and what it looks like inside.
The tent's really easy to put up. All I need to do is peg each of the corners out, and each one is at about 45 degrees to the corner. From there it's a matter of putting my front pole in, peg it down and close the flap on it, and then I go around and do the same with the back. Now I need to put in the end poles and tension the lines. Same with the other, end pole in, tension the line. And that's it, tent's done. Putting up the tent in the self-supporting option is also easy. I have 4 poles which I need to put together. I then attach those to the rings at the top of the tent and then to the rings at the bottom of the guy lines. I attach the poles together to the centre of the tent roof on both sides and tension the lines. If I want the vestibule out, then I peg the guy line and attach the doors. If I can't put pegs in, then I can use any other object to hold out the vestibule, like my bike or a water bottle. It's not supporting the tent, it's just keeping the vestibule stretched out. No commentary, just admire the beauty of this tent. It has a vent. This is one of the things I wanted, improved airflow. So it has a vent, and in the if it's rainy or windy, with this little thing I can actually tie the vent down so it closes off a little bit, or I can have it completely up like that, or part way. And then coming down, these are just the toggles to hold my front flaps back. This is how the doorway is kept in place, and there's also a little clip in here, just one-handed operation. If it's really windy, then I can clip it and keep it tight. Otherwise, it's just D-ring. The D-ring just comes off the hook like that, and back on like that. Nice and simple to operate, so it's one-handed operation, and that keeps it tight. The other key feature is this. See how this is sticking up? This is actually one of my old tent poles, and that pole, I'll just loosen that. This pole just fits into a sleeve. Got the pink there to show me where the pole goes, and yeah, it just sits up like that. Once you tie it in the corners, then that gives you the room on the inside for my feet and my head. These are just things to roll my door up. The corners, they got reinforcing material that's been sewn in underneath, and then a strap across. These are the Z-Packs new line locks made for the thinner cord, so I'm able to have the 1.2mm cord in there. Reinforcing there, because that is where my pole goes up to. And then I've got one in the middle for when I turn this into a self-supporting option. All of the seams are seam taped inside and out. And then this is also to turn my tent into a self-supporting option. So there it is. The door closure, I've just used a little D-ring that I put the material around. Very easy to use, so it's just the loop and the D-ring. I just thread it through, and that's enough to keep it nice and light, simple solution. With the doors open, so it's got a rainbow zipper, and the reason I've gone that, one, gives me heaps of room to get in and out of it, and two, when it drops down, it means I can sit here and quite comfortable leaning out and cooking in the vestibule area. 2 zips can be opened inside and outside, so I've used different colour string.
That's the inside and that's the outside. The inside of the tent, it's got quite a bit of room in it, so there's room at the sides to be putting extra gear. Most of my stuff goes at the head, and yeah, there's the pillow, just so you can see how much room there is at the head of it. So yeah, very roomy tent. Getting into the tent is pretty easy given the height of the doorway, and as you can see I've got lots of head height when I'm sitting up. I've also got lots of head height when I need to sit up from laying down position. My feet got heaps of room, and so is my head. And I sit in my tent like that a lot when I'm cooking, and getting out of the tent, once again, pretty easy with the height of the doorway. So as you can see, there's heaps of room for my feet. This is my normal position with that much room at the end. So yeah, double foot width. And if I slide down, worst case, I've slid all the way down to the end. I've still got extra room. And that's why this is so good. It just gives me that extra foot room that I don't have. Then headroom. So I'm lying on a fully inflated pillow. Normally it's not quite so inflated, but you can see how much extra room I've got at my head. So once again, this little pole here, it does an excellent job, and I can sit up without my head touching the tent at all. Inside the tent, some of the features. So there's my drying line. I put my socks on that. I do actually have an area to tie string, so I can have string across the top if I want it later. And that side also has a drying line. It's absolutely mirror image. Other features, so the floor, it's got a bathtub floor, just to keep the water out. The doorway goes all the way down, so I can actually sit in this doorway and cook out there if I need. Fully insect mesh all the way around, so it is insect proof. So that's my tent on the inside. Taking the tent down is super easy. Release the guy lines, take the front pole out. Do the same with the back. Take all the corner pegs out, fold it up, roll it up, and there you have it. That's the end of this tour of my tent. My next video I'm going to go into the design process and how I actually made the tent.